This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
It's the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast.
We're old school, right? We wash our own dirty laundry.
The name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back.
I refuse to be judged by a grown man wearing a hockey jersey.
Game on!
Game on!
We are back with another episode of the Dirty Laundry Game-Worn Hockey Podcast, episode 109. We're just continuing to roll with the guest here, John, Double Deke Hockey, joining us this evening. Going to be a extremely lively discussion in all kinds of ways. We got to talk about Germany. We even got to talk a fun little pickup I made in last week, different things, and then we'll get into the very interesting discussion here at the end of the show. We'll have good coverage all the way around. The drink for this evening is a Canadian whiskey. Pulled this one out because I'm trying to empty bottles still. It's called Crossover Run Cargo 21. So it's not one I've had in a while, but for my old fashioned tonight. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
You're like John. You're like me with the buttons, having stuff ready to go. I appreciate that. We found talking before the show. Him and I have the both same podcast board, so it's nice to play with things. When he first connected, I'm like, "Why does he sound weird?" He had his robot voice on. Speaking of drinks, Mitch, with the Drink Your Face Off line of barware and clothing, it is starting to, of course, this week here in Central Illinois, it's back to the upper 90s. But it will get cool again soon where we will need hoodies and that. So if you need one of those wherever you are, please reach out to Mitch. He will get you set up with those things. We have some upcoming expos we want to touch on, several coming up the pipe.
Yeah, we've updated the site at Opert. I added details for the Vegas and San Jose shows, which we'll go over shortly. But going through the list, end of this month, September 27th, the big show in South Jersey. In West Deptford, New Jersey. We still do not have a date for the Minnesota one at Tommy Reed's place. So if anyone knows the date of that, please let us know. And that then leads us into October 18th and 19th, which is the St. Louis Expo, which Wade hosts every year. And Wade, would you like to?
Yeah, coming along quickly. Good number of tables. Still have room if anybody does want to make a quick appearance. Excited to have Golden Auctions is going to be there accepting consignments and meeting with people to discuss that. So they are a primary sponsor for me, which is really nice of them. And I think that's a great opportunity for people, in a lot of different genres. So hopefully it draws in a crowd of people that do cards and other things because they are a major, major player in the auction world. So excited about that. Should be a fun time. I'm excited to bring in Mike McKenna. So him and Doc can have a little bromance time.
Right.
And, we're just excited to have it. It should be, as always, a fun time. And thanks to everybody who supports me and does the show and for the opportunity to talk about it here because it's a lot of fun. So thank you.
So then moving on, November 15th, we have shows in both Detroit and Hershey. We jump ahead to January 31st, which is the San Jose show. That's going to be at Calder's again, like the last one was. And that is the day of Cuda Mania 2, which is a combination wrestling in the parking lot in the concourse and a game against who are the Calgary Wranglers, the Flames.
Please tell me you're going to get in the ring at some point, Paul.
No, I am not.
Are there ever any wrestling matches while the Sharks are trying to drop jerseys?
I think that happened when they had a few of the kiosk sales at SAP. So,
great.
But yeah, hopefully, it's those days are hopefully over. It seems to be more under control now. We're starting to sell tables. We're getting a good turnout for the San Jose show. We have a large 50-person suite area for that, similar to what we did last year for Pink of the Rink for the game. And if we get enough people, we'll get a suite for Friday night too, which is just a regular Barracuda game. Moving on, March 14th, now it's official. That's going to be the Los Angeles Expo at the Embassy Suites in Arcadia. which is the LA area close to Pasadena. So still easy to access from people coming from San Jose. And for where I stay down in Hermosa Beach, it's probably like a 45-minute Uber. So it shouldn't be terrible. Was I going to say that? Melly and Riley will have a lot more information in the next days. The contract should be signed any day now for that, but it's all worked out, and we're looking forward to that show. March is also the show up in Winnipeg. I don't have the exact date of it yet. I think Pat told me, but I did not get it to the website. March 28th is Nova, which is always a great show out east. And then April 11th is our big show in Vegas, coinciding with the Frozen Four and a couple Golden Knights games. I have a lot more information on that up there on the Opert site. We have all the details of all the events, a couple even Silver Knights games. Strangely, the Barracuda are in town. We can't seem to get away from them. But
hey, look how well you timed that.
I'm sorry?
I think you planned that way. You talked to Barracuda into scheduling it knowing we'd be in Vegas.
Yes, I have that much influence on the AHL schedule, which
Paul, there's also the Chicago show.
Oh, that's right. That's not on my list. What is the date
November
for that?
15th as well.
I'm sorry, which one?
November 15th.
November 15th. Oh, yeah. That show sounds like it should be wonderful. It's been we had a Chicago Expo for the Frozen Four probably 10 years or so ago. Incredible turnout. And what I'm seeing from this Chicago one, lots of tables sold already. John, you're going out to it, right?
I will be there.
Yes, It should be a lot of fun. Hopefully Wade and Doc will make the short drive up.
I have to miss it. I'm skating before the Blues game with Pucks for Autism again this year.
Oh,
and I won't be attending either.
Bummer. So, John will give us a good update on it later, and I will add it to the Opert site. My apologies that I missed that one. So that's.
I don't care.
If I missed any others, send them to us. I will get them on the list.
Sean might kill you, but
yeah, and we've talked about it like 3 or 4 times on the show, and I don't know why it did not make the list. So
lots to keep track of, but that's an important list, and we appreciate the work you do. I know a lot of the other people do, so it's one spot to be able to reference all that and not have to search around for it.
One spot, mostly correct and inclusive. Yes. But yes.
Hey, nobody's perfect.
Sorry, Sean. Yes. We'll have it taken care of tonight. So
I know a couple of perfect people.
Thank you for catching that, John.
Yeah, no problem.
So speaking of expos, you both were across the pond for one at the same time.
Yeah, John and I. This is the first time I met John in the real world. We were.
Had to go all the way to Germany to do it.
I didn't know what I was in for.
Yes, actually, I'm kind of curious of your impressions now that you're back home and mostly recovered from the trip.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I hadn't been to Europe or east of Iceland prior, and Germany was fantastic. Food was great. People were great. Stefan is like the greatest host that is humanly possible. I mean, just so accommodating. Show was fun. Met a lot of collectors that I'd done business with in the past, and met new friends, and got to meet Paul and his wife, and it was awesome. It was great.
Now, did you take your wife out there, or was it you by yourself?
No, it was me and Joe Toman.
Okay.
So he's like my second dad.
It was great seeing Joe again. It really was. I mean, he has so many stories about, the hobby and the older days and stuff. It's just wonderful seeing him.
The funeral home, dead people,
Oh, yes, yeah. We didn't get too many of those stories this time, but yes. 2 years.
We're going to have to get him on just to get a split of hockey stories and funeral stories.
Oh, so, there's some stories.
On Thursday of the expo, I think you arrived on Thursday, right?
Thursday morning, yep.
Yeah, so Thursday, I guess Stefan picks you guys up at the airport. You and Joe get to check into your hotel. Nicholas was also picked up at the same time from Finland, and he couldn't check in. So on Thursday, we met Nicholas at Schumacher's for breakfast. and then we all gathered there at night for a massive dinner. I mean, this is before the expo starting. So we have a lot of people from over Germany, us U.S. folks, Nicholas from Finland, someone from Norway, and it's unbelievable, the food and just getting to meet everyone. And like I said, this is before everything starts. And John gets his first exposure to German alt beer, which is a Dusseldorf. Dusseldorf, it seems to be like the area where a lot of the alt beer is made. I mean, you go down to Cologne and it's Kolsch and all that. And what do you think of the alt beer, John?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, you're drinking, and then before your glass is even empty, they're bringing another glass, and then another glass, and then another glass. And so there was maybe 10 of us at the table. We had 129 beers in 2 hours?
They're only 10-ounce beers, but still, it was a lot of beer and a lot of food. I should add, for anyone who's not been to Germany, when you're going out drinking beers and stuff or at a restaurant, beers are cheaper than water. So if you need a bottle of water, sparkling or just plain still, that will cost you more than a beer will.
But of course it will.
Yes, it's something that it takes you a little bit of time to get used to. So
now, before we get into the details of the setup and stuff, John, how many jerseys did you bring fly over with?
So I brought 48 jerseys. I got 2 suitcases. You could have 50 pounds per suitcase, and I was at 51 and 54. So I had a whole bunch of stuff in my backpack, and I had to really behave myself at the expo to, all right, if I buy 2, I have to sell 2 and even everything else. So I was able to get home, and it was close.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you got through all your drinking on Thursday, and when did Friday kick off with?
Friday, we did a lot of walking around in the morning. And then I think we met at Stallworks about 1, was it? 12 or 1?
Yeah, it was somewhere on there.
And we started to set up, which was bizarre to me because, I mean, I was expecting to set up and then go out, and eat. But no, we set up and people started going around and deals were instantly being made on Friday before the expo started. I guess I should say also we were at Stallworks also Thursday afternoon arranging the place, moving tables around, getting all the cool racks set up. And that was mostly ready for Friday. So we roll in on Friday, everyone's setting up. And like I said, I had a few deals. I think I sold 3 or 4 jerseys on Friday before the expo even officially opened. And I think, John, you bought one for me on Friday, or at least committed.
Oh, yeah, the Brent Burns. Yeah, great job.
Yeah. Or at least committed to it. And like I said, I might have to bring it home if you didn't have enough room in your luggage.
Yeah, right. I had a backup plan. Yeah.
So I thought, the setup was a lot of fun. It's just amazing seeing all these incredible jerseys and goalie masks coming out. I mean, it's Max's display of masks was incredible.
Oh.
Mitch would be envious. And just, the whole room got set up. And then Friday night, we had a barbecue at Stallworks there, Stefan's place, which he has a big nightclub there. There's multiple rooms inside and a big outside area. And then we were off to the side under a tent, and we were grilling and drinking in there. But if you had to run out to the bathroom or anything, you had to go through the big party that was going on at Stallworks. And that
hot nurses party.
It
was 800. No, it was like 1,500 nurses there, and most of them were women.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm guessing there was a lot of party crashing going on then.
I don't remember much.
Did we mention there was a lot of beer at this expo?
Yeah, that was the main theme. We should just have beer shirts next year.
Well, it brings up a point. At the expo, Stefan had cases and cases of bottled beer, bottled water, which was more expensive, and bottled soda just available to everyone that he provided as the expo host, which was just so awfully nice.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, do we have anything else we want to cover on Friday night? I mean, I kind of felt like a few of the nurses, I just wanted to scream out because they're like smoking in these small groups. And it's just like, if anyone should know about not smoking, you would think it would be nurses. But
Now, what did you think about the space when you got there, John?
It was awesome. It was cool. High ceilings. He had hangers for everybody. He had racks for everybody. So you got a rack, you got a table, and as many hangers as you needed, and free beer. So it was, no, it was awesome. I mean, literally, like, because I was worried. I was like, I'm just going to throw all these jerseys out on a table, and people aren't going to be able to look through them. And I mean, like I said, I mean, Stefan was just absolutely top notch with everything that he did, and yeah, it was great. I mean, I would highly recommend anybody going again in 2 years. They're doing it in conjunction with the Worlds.
Yes, the World Championships, yeah,
Wow.
which are in Dusseldorf and Mannheim.
Yeah.
So it might be in Mannheim. We have 2 years to figure it out. But as you mentioned, Stefan being such a great host, everyone got name tags, which I really, really like, because I know most of the people there, but there's a few people I hadn't met. And it's just nice to, oh, yeah, you're so-and-so, and not, it just makes it easier to meet people and talk. And the other thing he did, I'm wearing the shirt today. This was everyone who signed up for Expo got one of these shirts. Has the Cooper logo on it, my initials. On this sleeve, the logo of the Expo. I don't know how well that's showing up.
Oh, looking good.
Oh, yeah, I fell over.
And then on the other sleeve, somewhere, the NHL patch.
No, you're not supposed to show that. He didn't pay for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Bleep that out.
Tell me that part.
They were gifts. Nobody paid any money for them.
It's in Europe. They're not going after him anyways.
Yeah. So everyone who signed up for the Expo got one of these shirts, which was I thought was really, really cool.
Really nice. That's awesome.
John, go ahead. Now that I screwed up saying copyright infringement, your best entertainment value.
So here's my my name tag that I got. I don't know if you guys can see it.
For those who listen to just the audio version, is German Expo a-hole all written out. So how did that happen, John?
I didn't get a whole lot of deals after that. It was no, it was awesome. Yeah, great.
So John, as your first time going over there, was there stuff over there that you didn't expect to see over there, like as far as NHL or North American stuff?
I really didn't have much expectation going into it. I mean, there's so much German. There was so many German league stuff, which is cool because you just don't see any of that in the States. So getting to talk to those guys, having them share their collections with that stuff was awesome. And then, I mean, Stefan had his stuff. He didn't have all of it, but I mean, he has, there's some serious bangers in there. And then some of the other guys, there's a Lucic collector, a Kings collector. Yeah, I mean, like a whole bunch of different, so there was plenty of US North American stuff, but yeah, I mean, it was great. It was great. And just to hear their passion for what they collected. And that's one of the best parts about going to the expos is just letting people share with you, like, why do they collect this player? Why do they, like,
the connections to people's collections is I agree, one of my favorite parts of seeing someone's table and display and what they're interested in and why they do what they do. Very cool.
Yeah, definitely 100%. So yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I can't recommend, going to expos enough. And really, I mean, round trip to Germany, it's like $1,000, and the amount of, friends and stories and connections. I mean, to me, it was totally worth it. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy you made the trip.
And if I get to meet Paul in person, I stole 2 jerseys from him he doesn't know about yet, so that was good, and we'll sell those later on online.
From me or from Stefan?
No, you.
Oh, okay.
Stefan, I got a whole suitcase full.
Oh, nice. No wonder you're over 50 pounds again.
Yeah, right. Oh no, I just had an extra suitcase.
Oh, okay. Yes, you paid the $100 for the extra suitcase.
Yeah. Right.
Nice. Or you use Joe's suitcase, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We just removed the corpse from the bag.
Oh my.
Joe Toman's a funeral home director, for those of you guys that aren't aware.
Can you tell me he brought his jersey in body bags? Because that would be fantastic.
We used to when we did shows, he would bring body bags and we would lay them over the table and zip them up. So we would place everything in it and zip them up and then put locks on it. And that's what we would use as jersey.
That's phenomenal. I love that.
So Joe Toman of J&J Distributing, he collects 2 things. He collects Penguin jerseys and metal body parts from human beings.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He's gonna kill me, but that's
you know what? I get it because, and again, not to go down completely side road morbid things. There's a funeral home director I follow on Instagram and she posts about their crematory and showing the box of parts and all those things. It's just insane. Yes, they do.
So,
wow.
But technically, he's collecting them. You know.
Jeez.
The stuff that you learn on the Dirty Laundry Game Worn Hockey podcast, folks, all over the place.
It's my last appearance, so.
So how was the rest of the weekend? I mean, once you got really set up on Saturday, and just how was the traffic and just the atmosphere?
Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I thought the traffic was great. I mean, it was nonstop talking with everyone. It's just, deals seem to be secondary to just catching up and talking to everyone, talking about, well, I'll be honest, this is our 4th trip to Germany, and a lot of these guys are like family now. We know them so well. I mean, we've see them over and over in Germany. A lot of them have stayed in our house, have come and visited California, and it's like family. And it's, for me, it was just like, and Monica too. We're just there getting to see good friends we haven't seen in a while, catching up, chatting, making some jersey deals here and there. But, and I'll get to the deal aspect later on, but it was just great seeing everyone. And, what I want to talk about, like hosting expos and stuff. Stefan does such a great job then with other events because Saturday after we had the expo there was supposed to be a beach party with, 1,500 people, which we were going to, be at too.
The nurses
canceled due to pending rain. So we just had the whole big outdoor area where we had another big barbecue and had the TV on for the soccer matches, which I think I was the only one who cared about. And, just lots of beer, barbecue, and talking. And I think that's when the metal body parts came up in one of the conversations, that's Saturday.
I don't know. I was kind of drunk. So.
Yeah.
So, I mean, John, what was your impression of Saturday?
Oh yeah, it was definitely not as deal based, especially as Sunday. Sunday was like deal day, like let's make a deal. But yeah, Saturday was more like hanging out, sharing stories, I mean, there were some deals. I did a couple deals, and then but yeah, Sunday was the day. But oh man, the food over there. I'm not a big sausage guy, but the sausages, everything like that was awesome. If you like sauerkraut, holy crap. I mean, German sauerkraut, it doesn't even compare to the stuff we have in the States. It's so good. But yeah, it's Saturday was awesome. But yeah, I think Sunday was probably the bigger day for deals, and Saturday was more about building relationships and sharing stories and stuff.
I like how you summarize that. That's definitely true, because when I walked in on Sunday, Martin Vall comes up to me and just says, I got a deal you can't refuse. And,
and he stabbed him.
Yeah, exactly. And a horse
woke up with a horse's head on Monday morning.
Yeah. But what
was I doing here?
It was great. Some jerseys I had looked on at Saturday, I had I was interested, but I kind of had forgotten about, just because there was so much going on. And people reminded me, and we worked out deals. On Sunday, near the end of the day, I come up to John. I have 2 jerseys left that I brought because I brought, I think, like 18 jerseys for selling/trading. And I brought, sadly, 2 jerseys for a friend that didn't sell, so those are the 2 jerseys I went home with. But John, I was like, John, I've never done this before. I brought 18 or 20 jerseys here, and they're almost all gone. I have 2 left. Let's work out something. And sure enough, John, being the good sport he is, took 2 jerseys he didn't really want to make me go home with all new jerseys and nothing that I brought there besides 2 Michigan jerseys, which were for display only. And so thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing, other thing I'll say about Sunday is Stefan brought out a rack of for sale jerseys from his collection, which, he had a price list and stuff, and a number of those went. There was some fairly high-end stuff on there too, and I know you've looked through it. It added a little bit of newness to Sunday. So.
Yeah, I always tell people, because sometimes, like, people come to the expos and they're like, man, nothing's for sale in this room, and I always tell them, I go, everything in this room is for sale. And they look at me and they're like, no, I don't see prices. And I go, trust me, if you're willing to pay enough money, you can buy any jersey in this room. And it's just like anything, and, sometimes that happens where somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, I'll give you 3 times the value of what that jersey's worth. And you just can't turn it down. And, you might be pissed for a minute, but then you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. But yeah, so it was fun.
Now in Germany, you had a price list. I had a price list. Nikki had a price list. Joe had a price list. Stefan had a price list for the stuff on Sunday.
Right.
I think Martin Vall had a price list. He had a lot of fighters for display, and he was clear those were not for sale, and the price list for the stuff for sale. And I think that really helps at an expo because like what you just said there, John, there's nothing for sale, but there is, and if you give people an idea of what you're looking for, a lot of trades can happen. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah. It's really just helpful to even know if you're in the right ballpark, because we're not, sorry, Doc, we're not experts on everything.
Right.
But
I am not an expert on anything.
There we go. So
you've seen how this podcast gets run.
So, John, did you want to say anything about the actual expo on Sunday before we get in what we did Sunday night?
We did something Sunday night.
Yeah, I'll remind you. But yeah,
beer in it, apparently.
What about beer?
I can't remember anything. No, it was everything was great. I mean, the deals. I don't think. I mean, there was a couple people that were disappointed. Who were trying to work deals that couldn't get stuff done. But I think,
but that's normal of any expo.
Oh yeah,
even just messaging or whatever. That's just, you're never going to get every deal done, but it doesn't mean it won't happen today. It may happen 6 months from now.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it was great, and honestly, I mean, there was a couple deals that I made with guys, and it's because like they really, really wanted the jerseys, and they didn't have the money, and so I did a couple payment plans, and then there was one I sold it like under cost, but he was so ecstatic, and I was like, hey, let's just get it done. And to me, losing $100 is totally worth gaining a friend and another connection. So but yeah, it was good. It was a good time. I would highly recommend. Yes.
No, it's. I mean, you'll be back in 2 years. I mean, that's the best recommendation.
Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm there. Yeah.
You will be. Yes. So the only bummer about Sunday is a lot of people drove in from like Berlin, Augsburg, Mannheim, and they were driving back that day. So that part, people were leaving a little bit early.
Oh yeah, a lot of people left it. Yeah,
which was unfortunate, but in a way, we've already had a 3-day expo, so it was okay. Some people like Mark Jorgensen extended their stay so they could go out with us Sunday night, which was really nice. Sven was still around Sunday night, which was great. So Sunday night, and I can't believe John doesn't remember this. We went down to Old Town and went to, I can't pronounce it right now, Fuscher, the Fox, the restaurant. You still don't remember, John?
Oh yeah, the giant plate of food. Yes.
John and I and two others ordered a German platter for 4. And I know John has pictures of it somewhere.
I don't know.
Send me that, John. I'll make it the official photo of tonight's podcast.
It was it was just incredible. That food was so good there. And it's another place with alt beer brewed in the basement, which there were plenty of those we had. Just another night of delicious food and hanging out and chatting with everyone, getting more and more stories. Oh, here we go.
See if I can.
We got glare. Oh, there we go.
Gee, that's a massive heart attack right there.
This was actually that was just here. Let's see. That was just Joe Toman's dinner. No.
Is Joe still? Have we checked on Joe? Is he alive today?
He is. He is.
Wow.
There was blood sausage.
Massive sausage. That's to the joke. That's a massive sausage fest right there.
So they have this stuff called blood sausage, and it's like a water balloon, but it's full of bloody meat.
I don't think I could do that one.
I tried it, man. It was I just made sure I had extra sauerkraut with it.
Oh, it was so good. And it had the beef, and the big thing in the middle is haxa, or however you say it, which is a big, massive thing of ham with.
Oh, that was ham.
Yeah, the thing in the middle was ham. Yes, it was a ham. Some part. It was pig,
like a shank. Yeah, it was like a big shank of something.
Yeah, and the skin on the outside was crispy. It was yummy.
It was good. Yeah.
I hate to say it, we did not finish the platter. There was a little bit left over.
We came close. We came close.
And we were sharing with others, and we have pretty decent appetites, but we didn't skimp on the beer either. So
yeah, funny how that fills you up a little bit.
Yeah, and then after that we gave John a little tour of the river area and took the train back. We figured out how to use the underground. It's not that hard. And, it's great day and that. And then on Monday, just want to cover this quickly. The ones of us still in town, us Americans basically, went with Stefan and Max and others to a small Dutch town, which I can't remember the name.
Mlastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And John got a search for what was
I love Boo Boos.
Yes, and you found some there.
Netherlands bootleg Labubu.
Yes.
So you had to get another suitcase to bring 50 plus pounds of those back, right?
Yeah, right.
You did have a few of them, so that's.
Yeah, my daughter was ecstatic.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, and instead of going for food in not Belgium, Netherlands, we went for. I hope I said Netherlands the first time, not Belgium. So we went to Netherlands. Went out for beers, and John found one of your new favorite beer.
Oh yeah, it's called Brand. It's a Hefeweizen, and if you like banana beers, it is next level. Yeah,
that stuff was really good.
Interesting flavor profile there.
Yeah,
they make other ones other than the Hefeweizen, and we tried both of them, and both were just out of this world.
Yeah.
Highly, highly recommended. So I got to see if we can find them here.
Good luck.
Yeah, and we have our ways. So we also then visited Cologne on the way home, visited the big church and stuff, and then had another group dinner at a steakhouse in Dusseldorf, which was just great. Being able to chat with everyone, catch up again, and we headed home a little bit late from that, and Monica and I headed to the airport at 4 a.m.
Wow.
Had the long, 2 flights home. And John, how was your last day there?
Sleepy. I mean, we left at 8 o'clock in the morning, got to the airport, and then flew to Dublin, flew to Chicago, sat there for 5 hours, and then flew home. So
Wow. So you hit Chicago and had to go back the other direction.
Yeah, we were going to jump out of the plane, but they said we weren't allowed. Some bad things would happen.
And also hard to grab your bags out of the underneath as you're falling by.
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd just pick them up later. But
there you go.
Joe didn't want to jump. One day.
Did you have any problems at customs or anything interesting with them?
No, never.
Yeah, uneventful for us too. It's just walk right through. And
they took my gun the one time, and that was it. And
was that in your carry-on?
Fly list ever again?
No, my pocket.
Okay.
You care, man.
Oh man. So all in all, Germany was a massive success. It was so much fun. I mean, John, you were only there for what, 4 days? And
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, I guess 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, and then leave Tuesday morning. But I mean, we packed so much into that time, and Monica and I were there a week before, so we did a lot of visiting with people, couple football matches, soccer matches there are great, and beer is cheap. It's like €4 for a beer. When you're used to paying $18-20 at the Sharks game, it was really nice to see cheap beer, and it's just a great crowd, and everything I can say about the trip was just incredible.
And so nice to see. Go ahead, John.
Okay. So I want to share what happens at these soccer games, the football matches. Okay. So when you have like the two local towns that play against each other. All right. So before the match starts, they meet at a certain location, certain guys, and they sit on one side, and then they run at each other and beat the living crap out of each other prior to the match starting. Okay. Then after like one group of guys has won, then they just dissipate. No weapons. They're not allowed to do anything else. But when they get in the stadium, you're not like, if you root for this team, you have to stay on this side of the stadium, and they lock you in to that side of the stadium. And then the other side of the stadium, they lock you in to that side of the stadium. And then at the end of the game, they let one of the groups of teams leave, fans, and then once they get on the train, then they let the other ones out. But that's just insane to me. I don't know. Like, could you imagine if they did that in the States?
That is crazy. I mean, just the timing to do it all, and and some of the podcasts I listen to talk about the interesting things that happen in football matches, European football, and it's crazy to hear, those kind of fights and stuff. But nothing would shock me.
Yeah, there's videos on Facebook. They're pretty entertaining.
A lot of those fights actually happen far away from the stadium.
Yeah, right.
Just because the police presence outside the stadium is amazing. Basically, circles of police with webcams on their helmets, in riot gear. And, at Mönchengladbach, there was probably like 6 or 7 of these circles of the police just keeping an eye on everything. And then police on horseback, too, which they're super nice. Monica got to say hello to a horse, and so you don't see as much violence on the ground, the grounds, because of the large police presence. But I've seen a lot of videos, especially in Russia, for a lot of the teams where they have predetermined sites where they meet and go at it. And then during the game, it's nothing but constant songs, chanting. It is loud. The dedicated fan sections, usually, the ones which are fenced in for the visitors and the opposite goal for the home team, they are really, really loud for before the game, during the game. It's unlike anything we have here. College hockey might be the closest, but that it doesn't come anywhere close to what European football's like.
Yeah.
So next year, John, stay a few extra days and we'll hit some football matches.
Sounds good.
Well, very good. I'm glad you guys both had a good, fun trip, and it was you came home with new stuff, made deals, made friends, because that's it. You've like you said it, John. You've connected with people that you may have talked to online before, or maybe done deals with, but now be able to meet them and then make deals while shaking hands and drinking beer. So
Drinking lots of beer.
yes, but no, that is I am glad and hopefully Joe had just as a good time as you did.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, again, if you're interested, do they already have the dates for next year, Paul?
No, and it's going to be in 2 years.
Okay, so nothing, just nothing this year. Then next year with the Worlds.
Yeah. Now, in all fairness, Monica and I might be heading over there next year if Michigan does play in Frankfurt. There's now it's on the
wonder
schedule.
Why?
Yeah, Michigan, Western Michigan. We'll try to get Derek Christensen and a few others to join us.
There you go.
But no, he won't be able to because he's in school then as a teacher.
Yes.
But we might try to talk someone and do something small if we go over for that. But it will not be nothing like the magnitude of what we saw this 2 weeks ago and what we'll see again in 2 years.
And make sure to get online and on the groups and stuff and look at those pictures. That room looks so cool. I even love just the art on the wall. It's just such a cool space. That and Wade, I love the space you had for the Frozen Four. That bar setup stuff we had there was awesome. So it's fun when you can get non-traditional spaces to do these. And
the Germany thing looked amazing. I would love to be able to figure out a way to get over there in 2 years for sure. I'm not going to drink much beer. You guys are going to have to see if they have Dr. Pepper. Otherwise, I'm not going.
They do have sodas, but they're more expensive than beer.
I'm not scared.
One of Wade's suitcases will just be 50 pounds of Dr. Pepper.
They have really good non-alcoholic beer. One of the guys was drinking.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That was shockingly good.
No, it looked like an awesome time. I'm glad you guys got to have that experience.
So moving on, and this, it became, when I posted this, and actually ironically right around this time last year, posted this picture and shared it out from the Dirty Laundry page about, and this is right when Fanatics jerseys were first being used in the rookie tournaments and things like that. We had one of our Blues players, Quentin Burns, got in a fight against a Minnesota player and got the arm most of the way ripped off the jersey. Pictures hit the internet. I shared it out. And again, at that time, none of us had our hands on these Fanatics jerseys, didn't know how they were going to hold up, didn't know how well they would do. And within a handful of games, we were seeing pictures of the practice jerseys with holes in them and things like that. But yeah, Quentin Burns in a white away jersey got in a fight and got half the arm ripped off. I'll show you the picture of it here. This was the little tournament that the Blues play in every year. And this one, like I said, was against the Minnesota Wild. So in that picture, if you look right in the middle, you notice that you can see his part of his shoulder pad or his elbow pads there. And
it looks like his arm got ripped off.
Yeah, very, very good. So luckily enough, last week the Blues did a drop clearing out jerseys from last year's camp and stuff. Especially they're trying to get rid of things with the new jerseys coming out and all that. And I was luckily able to pick that up as a jersey, and very excited to have that in the collection. It was repaired, of course, because he had to play more games. And let me get over to one of the repair picture here. But it starts mid-shoulder and goes all the way underneath the armpit. I hate how Zoom does it sharing. But now you can see the length of that repair.
Oh, nice.
From top all the way down underneath. And when you flip it on the inside, there's even more. See how they had to pull the material together. But it was such a cool piece. And there was some other wear on the jersey for, what did they play in that tournament? Like 4 games, Wade? Something like that?
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4. I think, yeah, because it's this week again. I know they've got a couple games this week.
Yeah. But it was just neat to be able to pick that up, and I'd been hounding the Blues. Hey, when are you guys going to sell this? And I was paying attention this past week. It popped up, and I was on it. And thanks to Wade for driving to the Enterprise Center, because it's a day or so before you're able to pick them up. They had them ready within a few hours of us buying them.
Yeah.
You drove to Enterprise, and then I met you where you work, and drove down an hour and 10 minutes to pick it up.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad you got it because you had been eyeballing it since last year. So
well, when we had
it ended up in the right place.
When we had Nick and Tyler at last year's expo, it's like, okay, have you seen that jersey? What's it look like? And Nick's like, oh God, it's so good. And he even actually said that the equipment guys are like, hey, do you want this? And Nick's like, hell yes, I want it, because he knew it would be a popular piece. So I was very happy to add it. Hopefully the player does well for us, but just kind of a cool thing to have. Again, something we covered too. And I know some people, it's jerseys rip in fights. It's like, I've not seen that many jerseys rip, especially in that spot.
No, not in a long time. I mean, that's a huge repair.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. That's awesome.
But cool little piece. But now the other discussion for this evening, and it's been up online before we get to that, let's get to John's background, because we've kind of skipped over that. So John, tell us a little bit about yourself for people who don't know who you are.
Well, I was born a young boy in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1980.
You were born a boy? You weren't born a baby? I came out boy.
Yeah. So I got, let's see. Well, I started following the Penguins in around like 89, 90 when I was 10, when they ended up being good, and, they were awesome through the 90s. I just loved the game of hockey, and got into collecting sticks around 07. Went to a Penguins equipment sale, started with a stick, got the itch, and I was a stick guy for a couple years. And then once I got one jersey, that was the end. The sticks are the gateway drug to to collecting jerseys, and ever since then it's just been a nonstop. I have no focus other than Marc-Andre Fleury, but if it's something that's unique and I think is cool, I pick it up, and then started authenticating around 2015, maybe a little earlier. And so ever since we started doing the hologram authentication since 17 or 17 or 18, somewhere around there, we've done like 7,000 authentications, and game use sticks, jerseys, gloves, you name it. And I love the hobby. I love the people, like just making connections. And when you're working all the time, you don't really get a lot of chance to make close friends. And but when you're doing deals and helping people find stuff, I mean, like these are my friends. This is my family, and it's great. Like to me, there's plenty of money and plenty of jerseys and stuff to go around. There's no reason to be a douchebag and fight over stuff and treat people like shit or try and cut corners. Like the guys that cut corners, they're not in the hobby anymore. They're, or nobody wants to deal with them because, all they do is screw people over. So it's, it's just one of those things where, you get the opportunity to make somebody happy and, work out deals. Like I'm trying to get me and Wade, we're going to work out a deal to get him a Ryan O'Reilly, Erie Otters jersey in the near future.
Yeah. I don't have any Ryan O'Reilly stuff. I just really want to, get that started.
Get your foot in the door, right? But I did want to share this piece. This is an insane piece that I picked up a couple days ago. If you can see it, this is a Martin Brodeur actual game worn mask. It is his last ever mask that he wore with the Devils.
Wow.
And I never realized this, but it has bulldogs on it. And I have a bulldog. And so this piece is like legit.
That's awesome.
Yep. His Same nameplate design as when he went and had his Blues one done. That nameplate design's identical.
Oh, really? Nice.
Back, yep.
Very cool.
He had Marty had. There's only one other Brodeur mask that I know of, and he wore it for 10 seasons.
Really?
He just kept getting it repainted and repainted and repainted and repainted. So to be able to get an opportunity to own something like this was pretty special. So
now the one he wore for the Blues got Doc. You might be able to back this up.
Yep.
I believe his son, it got repainted and his son wore it.
Not repainted. It actually got vinyled.
Vinyl. Really?
The Blues one he wore. And the reason I know this story is because I ended up, my vinyl guy who had done my first goalie mask, I follow him on Instagram, everywhere else, Skin Effects Graphics. He posted a picture of just being funny. Look what I got off eBay today. And it was sitting on a counter, and it was the Brodeur Blues mask. And he posted that he was wrapping it for his son. So I don't know what design he was putting on it, but he was actually just putting a vinyl wrap over it. So he wasn't destroying the paint job or anything like that. And then that actually got me hooked up with Brodeur's painter to get permission to use his Blues design and have the gentleman from Skin Effects do that wrap as mine. I changed the back plate because I don't have I have all the cups and don't need his kid's name on the back, but I have the same design with the permission of Brodeur's painter, because she did that design. It's the only person that ever painted his masks.
That's awesome.
So it's John, at least we know where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
John, what's your favorite piece, or what's your favorite thing?
Oh, I mean, Fleury's my guy. Marc-Andre. Man, maybe my Fleury rookie jersey.
Did that get to be a challenge with him going to a number of teams after he left Pittsburgh?
No, it was actually more exciting. Like I enjoyed, because there's, if you have a guy that just plays for one team and you look at your closet, man, it's just like all the same color, or like it's all the same jerseys. And for him to be able to play for other organizations, I was able to, like, I became a diehard Vegas fan until they effed him over. And then I hated them. And then, Chicago, and then, Minnesota. And when I watched those games, like, I mean, I was just as engaged as I was with the Penguins game, with the playoffs. Now, if he wasn't in net, I didn't care.
Yeah.
But when he was in net, man, I mean, I rooted just as hard, and was just disappointed whenever, they would lose I like the challenge. I still need a Blackhawks. I had a backup one that came from him, but it was only bench worn and I'm too anal.
I get it. If there's any jersey you could possibly own, that sounds like you kind of answered it there, but any other jersey you could own, who would it be?
Oh, I would love a Rocket Richard. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There's one at the Toronto show. A guy has one, but it's not worth buying, we'll call it. So yeah.
You might say with your fandom of the Penguins, you might wanted the movie worn Jean-Claude Van Damme goalie jersey.
Oh, that would be
sudden
cool.
death.
Funny.
The iceberg jersey.
Yes. I had to throw that in since you said you were a big Penguins fan and your timing. So
yeah. So when they were filming that in Pittsburgh, they were trying to fill up the arena. And so they opened the Civic Arena. For those that don't know, the roof actually opens. And so they opened it up, and to get everybody down there, they gave us a free hot dog and a free soda. And for us to sit there for a couple hours and cheer and whatever. But it was cool because the Cleveland Barons, no, not the Barons, the Lumberjacks. The Lumberjacks dressed as the Chicago Blackhawks. and then some of the Penguins players, and then some of the it was just some of the Penguins players dressed as the Penguins, and so it was cool. We got to watch a fake game. It was like, I think the game ended up being like 13-12 or something like that. They just wanted to keep setting off the horn and have, us going crazy. But no, I didn't get to meet John Claude at the
for anybody, and if you're a hockey fan, you should know that movie exists. It is the 1995. I wasn't going to say classic at all, but the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Sudden Death. It's not terrible, but just some of the stuff to see, and see Icy getting a fist fight and stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth the hour and a half to say you saw it.
I actually want to know if any of those jerseys made it into the hobby. I've never seen any stories, and if somebody out there knows this, if anybody ever got a hold of any of those.
You know what? That's a good question, because I wonder if like some of those questionable 90s Penguins jerseys ended up being just jerseys from the movie, but who knows? Maybe we can try and video match some of that stuff.
Yeah, if anybody knows her, and if Joe knows anything about it too, I'd be just curious to see, because we know like Mystery Alaska, we've seen
Larry Pelliccioni, I would think would know. I would think Larry would know.
To find out.
Yeah.
And where can people check out who don't know you? Where can they look at stuff that you've got for sale?
So when my website is actually up and not hacked.
It is currently up. I'm on it right now.
Oh, it's on?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Yeah, so somebody hacked my domain server like a week and a half ago and created like a Coinbase website. So so hopefully it's been an ordeal. But yeah, doubledekehockey.com. I have my collection on there. I have stuff for sale, and so the way I kind of work it is I have things in my store, and then in my personal collection, I have to put a price on stuff. So I put $1 million. And so, if there's stuff that you see that doesn't actually have a real price, you can hit me up, and, maybe it's something I'm open to moving. You can toss me an offer, trade, cash, or, if you really, really want, maybe I'll give you a price. I don't know. But
I have 3 of those in my cart.
The $1 million ones. Yeah. Hey, I take payment plans, money, food stamps. I do food stamps. Oh, so I gotta tell you this. So when I sell the Penguin tickets, I have tickets right on the ice, right next to the away bench. It's phenomenal. And I had this lady hit me up, because I just jokingly, I say cash, PayPal, food stamps, whatever. And this lady was like dead serious. She's like, well, how does the food stamps thing work? And I was like, well, you take me to the grocery store and I buy a bunch of stuff and you pay for it.
Oh my God. Jeez. God, if somebody's got to pay with food stamps, let us know. If somebody's got to pay with food stamps, we'll chip in and pay for the tickets. I'm going on the line now. Let them get their food.
Trust me, if you have food stamps, you shouldn't be spending $1,000 on a pair of Penguin tickets.
That's
priorities.
So yeah, but yeah, that's where you can find me. I do have an eBay store too, where I sell. Almost all the sticks are on the eBay store, and pucks and just everything oddball, we got on there. And then if you see stuff in the eBay store, you just hit me directly on Facebook at John Bellevator. You're never gonna be able to spell that. And yeah, I'll give you my best price on there. So.
Awesome. Well, and it's funny because you look back and you talk about kind of when you get started, and it's like it doesn't seem all that long ago, and then you actually calculate the number of years, like, holy crap, it's been a long time.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. You're like, man, I've authenticated that many items. Holy shit, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So getting into the other topic du jour for this evening, you know what, Paul? I'll let you kick it off.
So,
Have fun, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. Hey, I'm
Thank
not
you,
trying to
Doc.
be that way, but you just have you've thought about it a little bit more than I have. Because I've had a busy day, unfortunately.
So going back to Germany, if you remember, we were there 2 weeks ago. I think we've talked about it a little bit on the last two episodes. Their McCarr jersey came out. Gordon, who has an incredible collection, he had a bunch of Datsuks there, a bunch, some stuff just drooling over. And he had this McCarr reverse retro 2, is it?
Yep. Yeah.
And it was obtained as game worn. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
Oh, I did the trade for it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So it was actually traded to John, and that there started the research on the jersey. Like it was the LOA said, and the fight strap said it was worn one game against Pittsburgh.
Dallas.
Dallas. Thank you. And I forget, was the other game the Blues that it had the date on? I can't recall. But Dallas is the one that the fight strap says it was worn in.
Yes, the LOA also indicated the Blues on 12/11/22, but Dallas is written in the fight strap. Also on the COA from the Avalanche, it stated games played just says 12/11/22 or reverse retro set 2. Jersey tag number says backup is written in there, and then it has the Avalanche people signed it, the bottom of the certificate.
Yeah, and when this jersey was auctioned off by the Avs, there was a second McCarr, which was from the Dallas game also. And that one was declared worn in the game. This one was marked as a backup. But this Gordon obtained the jersey as worn. And when John made the trade, you were under the impression it was worn.
Yeah, so Gordon had told me that it was, it was worn in the Dallas game. And so I was like, okay, it says it on there. He's telling me that it is. So and for whatever reason that night, oh, actually I know why, because it didn't have the A on it. And so I thought that was unusual. And so that night I did some research and just looking at all of the different photos from that game in Dallas, I'm seeing a different jersey in every single photo. And I'm looking at the jersey and I see zero evidence of an A. I don't see any evidence of the jersey itself being worn. And I'm like, oh, like I just made friends with this guy over here in Germany. Like I'm going to have to, hopefully like he stand up, which he totally was. And so the next morning I take him the jersey and I was like, Gordon, I got some bad news, man. I'm like, this jersey wasn't worn. I checked even games before and games after, and there's zero evidence. Every jersey that I'm seeing in all these other photos, it is not this jersey. And so he told me where it came from, and I was like, you need to return it, and and if you need my help, like with the language barrier or just trying to help the process, I was more than willing to do that. And so that's kind of what started this whole thing. So,
and it helped a lot too that it's in front of you. You're not just looking at physically have that.
Yes. Yeah, and that was helpful. I mean, just looking, I mean, there's literally zero signs of wear on this jersey. Like zero.
No marks at all.
I was just like, well, maybe it's just a single period. But there's so many photos and they all show a different jersey.
Yeah, and we showed that multiple people have been looking at this through photos and stuff. And, a lot of people in Germany were doing it. I think it was a big, Saturday night, Sunday, big activity. The stitching on it, where like two different color threads, overlap each other, just don't match at all. Every photo from the Dallas game. And my understanding is we've now ruled it out of all three periods in that game. In addition to the photo unmatches or whatever, the wash tag, not the wash tag, I'm sorry, the born on tag on the wash tag there in the jersey is crisp. And it's clear that the jersey was never washed. I guess theoretically it could have been worn and not washed. But when you add up what we see from the lack of photos ruling it out and it being a different jersey in the game, the born on tag, the lack of any evidence of wear, no pilling, no marks, no burns, absolutely nothing. And then you throw in there's no evidence of an A being removed, no sticky tape, no nothing there at all.
Well, and it's listed as a backup, and COA does a
Yeah,
backup.
yes,
Paul,
exactly.
Paul
Even
mentioned
though
about the St. Louis game too.
I'm
You got
sorry.
that out as well.
Yes, yeah, we ruled out the St. Louis game also because that was the other date on the LOA. What was so yeah, so basically we've ruled out that it's my opinion right now that this jersey was definitely not worn in a NHL game. And I think John, you have the same conclusion too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean that's everything that I've seen, and I'm sticking to it.
So now comes the interesting part. As you mentioned, he should take it back to the seller, and you'll help him with that. And we've all been working on trying to get something done with this jersey. There's two interesting aspects at this point. Gordon actually had traded a Bruins. Which player was it again?
Bergeron.
Thank you. For this jersey, and that was about 2 years ago. We've talked a little bit about on the show about statute of limitations and time for dealing when you find out a jersey is not good. Now, the other issue, and then we can all talk about this, the person who traded the jersey to Gordon wants nothing to do with it. He is adamant that the jersey was worn and is good based on his experience and the fight strap saying it was worn in Dallas. And all the evidence that everyone's compiled, and a lot of people looked into it, points that it was not worn. And the person who traded with Gordon is not willing to work with him at all. Gordon's offered to trade it for other stuff he has there. There's no cooperation at all from the original, the person he obtained it from. Absolutely no accountability.
And real quick, I just finally I was able to pull it up. I should have this up sooner. That is the born on tag. They're on the screen now, and even if you had a single wash, that ink on that tag is going to be washed out a little bit.
Even if it was worn and it would have gotten wet, and they don't look that fresh in that. Yeah.
And it gets crinkled some, or lack of a better term. It's not flat and crisp like that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's very damning by itself. But when you add in everything else that's been put together, I don't see how an expert can say this jersey was worn.
Yeah, and one of the things that you guys talked about with the statute of the limitations or whatever, from a dealer aspect, as you know, as myself, I believe that there is no, if you do a deal with me and you come back and say, hey, John, you sold me this jersey 10 years ago, and we found new photos, or something happened, or one of the equipment managers started being shady over this time, and blah blah blah. But this is all the facts. You made a mistake. It's not good. I'm taking it back. I mean, that's just if you're doing a deal with a dealer, that's just how it should be. It shouldn't matter how long the term is, as long as the facts are right. You take it back, and like I said, there's plenty of money in this hobby. Why why burn a bridge and ruin your reputation over a piece that you're just going to be dying on a hill over?
Right. And we've seen that even in posts over the years with Migro, is people sometimes have bought stuff that migrates says, hey, this is issued, sends that certificate with it. People do research and go, oh, I actually matched. There was a tiny mark or whatever. I was able to match this, send it back. Migrate updates the info and has redone an LOA. And I know I've seen a couple posts over the years of the reverse of that too, where, hey, this was sold like this, but it looks like I've been able. And again, if you bring evidence, that's real easy to go, hey, you're right, or we'll look at this further and let you know. But everybody's gonna or should take a look at when evidence is there. As if it's someone come up and said, hey, this is not what you said it was. Okay, if you can't back that up, that doesn't help your cause. But there is piles and piles of evidence that says that.
Right.
I'd also like to add into what John said, that you said a dealer should take it back or make it right. But I think that extends beyond just a dealer. I think any respectable collector who has something which turns out to be bad should be making it right and taking it back, no matter when. Go ahead, Wade.
No, I agree with you. I'm shaking my head. Yes, I don't think it's dealer or not dealer, but I do think the argument then becomes, if you are a dealer and there is typically a premium put on doing business with you, you do have a added responsibility to be on the forefront in our hobby of being beyond reproach as far as that goes, if there is a question of one of your items.
Agree 100%. It's accountability.
Yeah.
And it's in this hobby, we have our reputations and stuff. If you start getting known for passing along bad jerseys or any sort of bad collectible, and not well, first of all, passing along multiple bad items is a black mark against you, period, no matter how you handle it. But if you don't handle it, why are you in this hobby? Or is it to rip people off? Is it to always be right? I just don't understand that then. If because there's a lot of trust in this hobby. We trust what we're getting from Migraine, and they back it up. I trust what I'm getting from John. He backs it up. And from other collectors too. Mitch, he'll back up anything we get from him. It's just doesn't make sense to me why you want it, or at least try to find a solution to it.
And it doesn't matter if it's $100 jersey or $100,000 jersey. The standing behind it and the research and other things should be there regardless.
Well, the integrity of that is the most important thing as far as your reputation.
So I'll piggyback on that for the integrity. One thing we have not mentioned yet, when this jersey was originally traded, it in the original ad for it said it was photo matched.
Right.
That photo match was never provided to Gordon, and excuses now have come up like it was lost in the mail, it doesn't exist, it wasn't part of the trade. It's Gordon has taken a lot of the blame that he's waited 2 years to try to get this resolved, but the shirt is still bad, plain and simple. And as John said, the time really should not matter on it. And our suspicion is if this would have happened a month after it probably would have been met with the same response.
And here's the thing: when a collector buys an item or trades for an item, especially newer collectors, if you get something that doesn't end up being what you paid for, or whether it's good, misrepresented, there's a good chance that guy's never going to collect again, and they're just done. I saw it a lot with sticks. There were certain individuals selling fake Crosby sticks and Ovechkin sticks, and they were popping them on eBay for like $500. And it's somebody really wanted one, so they're trying to collect, and they buy it because they don't want to pay. They were normally $1,000 at the time, and they reach out to me for authentication. I'm like, man, that stick's not good. Like, I know where it came from. It's not good. And that person's done. Like, they're never collecting sticks again. Like, you tried to save $500 and now you have something that's not worth anything, and you might as well just throw it in the garbage, or, you're going to go and try and screw somebody else over. And so it just ruins the hobby for people. Like, we do everything we can to try and grow the hobby. And when you do selfish things, or things that are just based on money or screwing somebody over, I mean, it's not going in the right direction, and that's the nice thing about doing these expos is you might get one or two people who have never seen this stuff in person, and they come in and they're like, holy shit, this is awesome. I would love to have, my favorite player, and I didn't know I could own, something that he's played with or worn. And, they're like, this is way better than collecting hockey cards. And so they sell all their hockey cards and they get in the game. And I tell, cause we do, the National Sports Card Collector Convention, and we're like the only people there with hockey. We're definitely the only ones there with game worn hockey. And sometimes, people will be like, oh, well, why is that $10,000? Why is that Crosby jersey $25,000? And I'm like, well, have you seen Crosby cards sell for that much? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, way more than that. And I go, well, do they have a museum where you could just go and see hockey cards? Well, no. Well, go to what do they have at the Hockey Hall of Fame? Sticks, gloves, jerseys. Do you pay to go in and see that stuff? Well, yeah. So what do you think's cooler? And that's the mentality that I have. And why I don't really collect cards. I'd rather have stuff that these guys, fought and sweated in and scored goals. I mean, to me, like, I can't get excited about a card, but this stuff's, that's what makes this hobby amazing,
Because you can go to Getty, you can go to streaming sites and watch the game that jersey was worn in, or that helmet was worn in, and a record-setting goal or whatever it is. You can't do that with a card. But knowing that, because
we could do an entire show on this.
Oh, for sure. And Paul, I know you're this way. Wade, I know you're this way. I am, and a lot of people I talk to in the hobby, is the second the jersey lands on your porch or in your mailbox and you walk it inside, you're going to Getty or wherever and trying to photo match it.
I thought you were going to say that they were going to open the box up and lick it and smell it.
Well, doing that, that's a little different, but within, that's just, I'm at my table with my laptop and going, okay, the LOA says it was in these games, or a lot of times when I'm bidding on Blues auctions where I have a few days, if I can see marks just in their auction thing, I'll go find them before the auction ever closes.
Yeah.
But it's researching to know that what they're selling or what expectations are there. And you're right, as you get burned right off the bat, you are not likely gonna continue. And we preach so often, if you're new on this, if you've not been in it long and if you're looking at a jersey and you're unsure, reach out to, even one of us. If we don't know that team, we can put you in touch with somebody that will gladly help you understand what that particular team does, what to expect, if it looks right, all of these things, because we don't want people to have to go through this stuff.
I would say 2 or 3 times every day, somebody's asking me, hey, John, what do you think this is worth? Hey, John, is this stick good? Is there an issue with this? Do you see a problem with this? What do you think this is going to go for at auction? And I help all those people, because when I got in the game, I didn't know anything. Like, people, that's what they did. They helped me. And so, that's how you grow. That's how you grow is so that these people don't get burned. One of the things that I do, and I don't think anybody else does it, but when I authenticate something, if somebody sends me a stick If it's not good, I don't charge them, because I know that they're already they're already on the butt end on this. I'm not going to tack another $25-$50 on to the hurt, like normally I can kind of tell right away if there's an issue with an item, but why stick that, like, oh, I got some bad news for you. Plus you owe me some money,
But what you're also going to do is you're going to explain why. So going forward, if they are looking at another stick or whatnot, they go, oh, John told me to look for these 3 or 4 things that on this person's stick is every single time.
Right.
And so the odds of you having that mistake again are way less.
Yeah, no.
Would somebody has still fake those things? Possibly, but then they still would probably follow up you and go, hey, I found this other one. It matched the stuff that you said to look for. What do you think?
Right, exactly. So,
and then by you helping them as a dealer, they may come to you to buy stuff or say, hey, can you be on the lookout for X? I would love to just make a deal through you because you've helped me out so much.
Oh yeah, it's like anything. I mean, you treat people right. You treat people how you'd want to be treated, and then everything comes around. Like karma's. I mean, I really believe in karma. Like, like if you get screwed over with something, like you don't blow your brains out. You just stay positive. Put your one foot in front of the other, and something will pop in your lap later on, and it makes up for it. And it's kind of how the universe goes.
So I'm hoping this can, and it doesn't seem that way, but I'm hoping this could get resolved in a fashion that everybody would be okay with. But it seems to be that we are way beyond that. So I guess what do we do, or what should be done? One of the things, John, and I talking about this a little bit with Paul and Wade through our chats, and see what you think of it. Not just for this, but stuff in general. When we see issues come up, is almost have like a court, for lack of a better word. Is if there's a dispute with something, both sides can put their legal briefs together, for lack of a better word, send it to, let's say it's 3 people. They all go through stuff. They read both sides. They're basically like an arbitrator. Do you think something like that would help the hobby? I mean, we don't see a ton of big ones blowing up, but occasionally we do see stuff in the Bad Jersey Traders page and others where maybe something like this could be a benefit.
I think it really puts a lot of pressure on. It would put a lot of pressure on that small group.
Boy,
to me, it's more of let the public decide. Where because normally, it's normally pretty 90-10 or 80-20. When it. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Am I boring you?
No, I'm sorry. I got up early. I was apologize for the yawn.
No, I'm joking. So, but yeah, I mean, to me, like, where I feel like if somebody's being completely unreasonable in their ask, or with a situation, like where I feel like I've been 100% like straight up front, and they're just like, no, John, you're wrong. You screwed up. You screwed me. But. And it's like, well, let's put it in the forum, and I'll show you that you're totally wrong.
Yeah.
And it normally ends up working. It works itself out that way.
I'd like to think that people have the ability to sort it themselves, but I think that we all have 100% accountability to do the right thing. I think that's what most of these situations come down to. Like here, if I were the seller of something and someone decided it wasn't good, obviously depending on the situation and the timeline and whatever, if I am wrong, then yeah, I mean, I'll figure out a way to get it paid back, or I'll take it back, or do whatever. And I think that should happen. I think that people have to be accountable to the transactions they have. And I think that there has to be consequences if you're not compromisable in a situation.
Well, and I think that if you have a situation where, that it's been presented to you and you still feel like, nah, man, like I'm doing the right thing. At that point, okay, let's throw it to the group. and the group can kind of like, let's see what kind of responses we get. And if it's really like all one direction, okay, then at that point you should be like, okay, clearly everybody thinks that I'm wrong, or I'm not doing the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing. Hey, I'm sorry. Like, let's move on from it. And that's what people want. I mean, it says a lot when you're like, hey, you know what? I screwed up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's America, dude. Like, everybody loves somebody who apologizes.
I've said this before in our hobby. When we had our discussion about, expertise and things like that. And to me, you're only as good as your last mistake. And part of being able to do that type of thing is being humble enough to know when you've made one, and being self-aware enough to make a compromise to admit fault. And sometimes people really fail at that. And that's really a bad thing for our hobby. And, and this is me just giving a generalized statement about how I feel about this type of thing. I've talked about my background plenty of times. I've authenticated millions of autographs and worked in the hobby for a long time. And I've messed up some before. And when I've messed them up, I have been accountable to it. Right. And that's part of being, honest with yourself and with the people that you surround yourself with in a hobby that you'll enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, anything's possible, and maybe once it hits, or if it ends up in the main group, maybe there's some pressure or some realization that,
Yeah.
Paul? To follow up on what Doc was suggesting, my concern, if it was applied to this case, the original seller is convinced he is right. And I don't know if he's looked at any of the evidence, but he just keeps saying, oh, that's your opinion. And I think we've gotten to the point where it's not opinion. What people have found are facts. And now you got to, the Jersey then will tell a story based on those facts. And there is 180-degree difference between what Gordon and everyone else are saying of this jersey and what the original seller is. And the original seller is saying it's good because I know it's good. Or, he had, based on experience, blah, blah, blah. So I think that if there was some sort of panel or something working on this, would still be at the same point, because this original seller would still say, no, the panel's wrong, I'm right.
And there's legally binding anything. It's maybe just if something like this was set up. But again, it's just me thinking of different ways to bring some other stuff to the hobby. Is before we start this process, both sides agree whatever's decided is what's followed. And if one side says, nope, I'm not doing that, then it's pointless to even do. And you're absolutely right in that, Paul.
But I then want to expand on what you're suggesting there. That is kind of the point of the Bad Traders group.
Yes, because it throws it out there and everybody discusses it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. So it's not a three-man panel discussing it. Everyone's discussing it, and they're throwing out evidence, trying to look for poke holes at it and stuff. In this case, no one's come to the defense of the seller. And I think that's because it's a losing battle on that one. There's not been one bit of evidence showing that this jersey could have been worn. It's to me, it's a fairly shut case.
Once the pictures and John, with you, your details of, hey, I had this in front of me. I wasn't just looking at pictures and did a deep dive on it. And others have looked at it and said the same. And we tracked when it was sold and how this was here. And all the pictures show it's not the one that's in any of three periods in either games. And here's why. Yeah, that's all solid. That is pretty locked up at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, the question is, how do you resolve something like this? And, what's the right thing to do? Well, we know what the right thing is to do,
Correct.
but you can't force someone to do that. So, I mean, a future question is what's going to be the consequences of this? This person who traded the jersey, it's not the first time there's been issues. Um, so that does it lead to being banned from the main group? I know he's already been kicked out of some of the smaller groups. Um, it's that's it's a pretty big step, for someone to get kicked out of the main group who is active in the hobby. We've kicked out a lot of scammers and stuff, and that's you know and sorry, when I say scammers, I mean people like selling jerseys they don't own,
Correct.
people from offshore who are just
That
100%
guy from
scammers, not
Zimbabwe that has
collectors.
the amazing collection.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that, John?
The guy from Zimbabwe that has the amazing Gretzky collection.
Love
Yeah,
that. Love
all
that.
shot on different carpets. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean it's kicking non-collectors and scammers out of the main group is a good thing. Um, Kicking someone who's somewhat known in the hobby and is active, it's a step we don't take lightly, but it's being considered now, and we'll probably discuss it further in the bad traders group.
Because when you've got to the point where you're questioning their honesty,
Yes.
yeah, you've got to look at that because, okay, if things were made right and stuff, everyone go, hey, yep, even if there's if I get something, maybe there's an issue, I know it can be worked out. It seems like the door has been shut on this, so why would anybody going forward take a chance?
Exactly. And I want to reiterate, the bad traders group there is to find scammers and, bad collectors, bad traders, but it's also to try to resolve issues. And that's what we were hoping would happen in this case. And I'm not optimistic it can get resolved.
I don't know. I mean, you never know. I mean, they could have a change of heart and be like, you know what, I don't want this to completely, destroy my reputation right now, and maybe come around and do the right thing, or at least come up with something that, maybe is like 50-50, somewhere in between where, neither side's really happy, but they're kind of there's something, there's something there. I had a deal that I ended up getting. I got a jersey off a guy, and I had it for like 2 years and found out that the nameplate probably wasn't original. And I paid a lot of money for the jersey, and I knew he wasn't going to be in a spot where he was going to be able to make it right. And so I took half, I took half back. And so I lost half and that was one of those things where there was no pictures of the nameplates at the time. And we had finally found one, and it wasn't correct. And so, I didn't feel comfortable keeping it in my collection, but I knew that this guy, if I asked for the amount that I paid for it, it wasn't going to happen. So, I ate it, and he got half of it back, and it was what it was. So, I mean, he got the entire jersey. I got half.
Yeah.
I cut up the jersey, and I gave him half the jersey back.
But at least you both were able to come to some kind of you settled it, and
Right.
probably no hard feelings between the two of you.
Oh yeah,
things
right.
like that.
Exactly. He didn't know. I didn't know. And he felt bad, and but he was just like, "There's no way I'm ever going to come up with that kind of money." And so yeah, I mean, we made it work. But there's plenty of money to go around in this hobby and in this world, And if you live and die on every dollar, man, God bless you. Like, it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Any other Wade, I'll give you the first final thoughts here. I think we've covered a lot of ground tonight. I know you've had a long couple days, so you're ready for bed.
I've been fighting to stay awake on this one. And it's a great topic, which is tough. Honestly, a great grouping of discussions, and I loved the Germany stuff. This last topic is a tough one just because it is an encompassing part of our hobby, but we always kid around on the show, and sometimes we never want to take on tough topics, right? Because we're trying to be informative, not opinionated. And sometimes I think there's listeners that maybe get frustrated with that, but it's because I think all of us have always agreed that our job isn't necessarily to be, toxic. It's to try to grow and be positive. But I think this was a situation where we all felt like, it obviously is encompassing enough to the hobby that it needed to be discussed or figured out, right? And the only way for sometimes these things to happen is for people to take on tough topics. So, I think this was a good lesson in that tonight. And I guess that's what I wanted to leave it with. I don't think anybody's trying to, pick on anybody or take sides or choose opinions. We just want to see the right things happen for everybody in the hobby. And I think that's the continued effort that we all want to have, right? And I guess the only last thing I have to add was, Doc, you said you weren't an expert on anything, and I just want to let you know that as far as I'm concerned, you're a grail. So
smart ass.
So I'll leave you guys on that. John, thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure. You're one of my favorite fun and funny people in the hobby, and I do enjoy you. So thank you for taking the time to join us tonight.
I'm happy to finally pop my dirty laundry cherry.
Paul, what have you got for final thoughts?
Well, first off, Wade, that's great summary. Appreciate that. That's good. I will, since we're trying to stay away from opinions, I will stop to say I still hate Fanatics jerseys. I still will not own one. So got to get that into episode 109 or whatever we're at. And yes, Paul went like 3 hours without saying anything negative about Fanatics. Fun show. The Makar discussion is depressing.
Yeah.
I don't like the position I'm in dealing with this, as running the main group, running the Bad Traders group. And, I lived some of this in Germany, and I really wish there was a resolution, a solution to it. And I'm just not optimistic. On a brighter side, it was absolutely wonderful meeting John in Germany and now getting him back on the show. I can't stress how much fun Germany was, and extending that, get out, go to expos. There's a lot of great ones on the East Coast. Still want to push people to come out here, especially for the Vegas show. And if you can't make that, either the LA show or our San Jose show. It's, the West Coast in the spring, in the winter and spring is awfully nice place to be. So just want to encourage people to come out here. Check out, we have all the updates now up on Opert. The Chicago show will be added by the time this is pushed out. And we'll have more details on LA very shortly. So thank you, John, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And John, I'll give you the last word before I wrap this up.
Pizza. So one of the things that I want to talk real quick is all right. So if there's an expo in your city range, and maybe you're a newer collector, or you don't think you have a lot of great stuff, or maybe you only have 2 or 3 jerseys. Don't let that stop you from making the drive and meeting people, and because you can get inspired by seeing other people's collections, or just hanging out with some guys. Like, we're not necessarily all the most social beings, and we are a little fucked up. I mean, messed up, messed up in the in the head. You know, like we collect dudes' clothing. You know, like, but
Used.
it's nice to meet other guys and girls and ladies and in betweens like that collect the same stuff that you're passionate about. So get out to these expos, even if you're not displaying, or you only have one or two jerseys, or maybe you don't have any jerseys or anything and you just want to see stuff. I mean, dude, you go into a room and maybe somebody's got a Crosby jersey, and hey man, can I try that on? Like, can I get a picture in that? Like, can I just feel it? Like, you can't do that at the Hockey Hall of Fame. And
you can't wear cards.
Huh?
I said you can't wear cards either.
Yeah, exactly. But when we do the national, anytime that a kid comes up to the booth, I ask them, who's your favorite player? And if it's Crosby, Ovechkin, Bedard, I'm like, hey, you want to hold his stick? And to be able to put that stick in that kid's hand and watch him like totally glow, and then the parents are taking pictures, like, dude, I mean, I would have loved to have had that experience when I was a kid. But just little things like that, I mean, it just makes the hobby so much fun. And to be able to share the pieces of our collection, and history of the game and some of our favorite teams, like, it's pretty privileged. Like, if you think about, having access to this stuff, I mean, it's really, man, I mean, I'm so fortunate, and, I know you guys probably feel the same way, like, to be able to have some of the stuff that we have and the connections that we've made, and maybe some of the players that we've met. And I mean, we're real lucky, like, not everybody gets to do this kind of stuff, but to be able to share it in an expo type setting, with other people is just phenomenal. So get to your expos now, not the Montreal ones, because they don't exist anymore.
But
do they?
no,
I don't even watch baseball anymore.
That's fun. But with that, again,
Montreal have a team.
John, it means a lot that you wanted to come on, and I think it's awesome that you went out to Germany, getting to meet other people and make those long distance expos like that. And it's just fun to have you on. Covered a lot of great ground, and we're lucky hosting this, that we have people that are willing to come on. And it makes it, we can ramble all the time, but when we can bring in guests and let them ramble along with us, it makes it even more fun.
I would not recommend anybody doing this. I will tell everyone that stay away from these dirty laundry guys. It was, I'm going to cry myself to sleep.
for lots of reasons that we can't get into on the show. But again, thank you everybody for the continued support. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, all that kind of stuff. If you want to come on, let us know. We do have a guest lined up for next week, so I'm finalizing all those details. But with that, we will see you guys back next time.